No way. My girlfriend, who spends every day at home looking like a complete mess, is actually the one calling the shots for the South faction. Serena freezes for a split second before forcing herself to fire back. The boss of the North faction? It's you. The guy squeezed into a tiny rental with me every day, fighting me over instant noodles like some broke bum? Sterling, you better start explaining. You've been faking poverty this whole time? And here I was, actually planning to settle the North faction's power struggle first, and then make it all up to you. I fire right back. Hey. If anyone owes an explanation here, it's you. Just how good are you at pretending? You're even faker than me, summer in the urban village. Even the breeze reeks of cheap cooking grease. A battered ceiling fan wobbles overhead, looking like it could crash down any second. Serena has her hair clipped up in a messy bun. She carefully takes the only fried egg from her bowl and places it in mine. Then she gives me a warm smile. You were out hustling all day. Eat up. Seeing her like this, I feel a real pang of guilt. I need to wrap things up with the North faction soon, and give her the surprise she deserves. I'm not hungry, you eat. I smile and slide the egg back to her. I closed a deal today. My manager said I'm getting the attendance bonus next month. I'll take you somewhere nice. But what she doesn't know is that I never met a single client today. Wearing a face mask and a baseball cap, I sat in the most secluded booth at an internet cafe in the urban village, watching overseas stock tickers all day long. That evening, when I get back to the apartment, Serena rushes to greet me. You're home! Why are you soaking wet? Did you skip the bus again? Just to save 2 yuan on bus fare? And walk all the way home? I'm drenched from head to toe. This suit cost me 99 on some bargain app. No breathability at all. Soaked through, it clings to my shoulders like a wet sandbag, but I wear it every single day. Without this suit, I don't even look like I'm putting in enough work. Like I'm not grinding hard enough. I push through it, wave it off with a grin, and play it cool like nothing happened. It's no big deal. Let me grab a quick shower. Wait for me, okay? Silly girl, walking home every day is just free cardio. Oh, I spotted this at the night market on the way back. Thought it'd look perfect on you. I pull out a sparkly rhinestone hair clip like a magic trick. The guy wanted 15. I talked him down to 12. Sterling, what are you thinking? We can barely make rent, and you're out here wasting money. How is that wasting money? I pull her into my arms. Other girls get nice things, and so should you. For now, this is the best I can do. But one day when I've made real money, I'll buy you real diamonds. Serena's eyes glisten with tears. As long as we have each other, even the hard times feel sweet. I don't care that you're broke. In this tiny apartment, barely 300 square feet, without even its own bathroom, to any outsider, this would look like a tragic scene of 2 star-crossed lovers in the big city. Over the past year, watching her haggle over a few cents with the vendors at the wet market and tear up over a cheap little hair clip. I bought her. I felt genuine guilt. But what nobody knows is this. Inside this cramped little room, we're both putting on Oscar-worthy performances. Best actor, best actress. I silently make a vow. Just a few more months, once I reclaim everything that's mine, I'd hand over half my business empire, just to make up for a year of instant noodles like this. A year ago, the North faction was torn apart by an internal power struggle. My uncles ganged up to take me out and swallow my core assets whole. So I played right into their trap, on purpose. I staged an investment disaster, followed by a fake bankruptcy and disappearing act. Walked away with nothing, vanished into this urban village where nobody would ever look. Now I watch from the shadows, as they fight over the bait I dangled in front of them. All the while, I'm building my strength in secret, ready to strike the killing blow, and purge the entire North faction clean. And me? The reason I chose to shack up with Serena is because her profile was too perfect. Poor, orphan, harmless, no messy connections. She was my perfect cover. 2 in the morning. I slip out of bed and dig through the bottom of a pile of old papers. I pull out what looks like an old pizza box. I flip it open. Inside sits a jet black, ultra-thin encrypted laptop. Boot up. Iris scan to unlock. I put in my earpiece and dial into an encrypted channel. Boss, the North faction. Those old dogs have been watching real close. You've been off the grid for a year now. They think you went bankrupt in Europe and jumped off a bridge. They're ripping apart every fund you left behind. Let them. I let out a cold laugh. Fatten them up, more profit when the slaughter comes. Is the stellar building materials play ready? He answers right away. Everything's in place. On your word. Within 10 minutes of the market opening tomorrow, I'll crash it straight to the floor. The 3 billion the North faction poured in will vanish in an instant. I nod, satisfied. Good. Pull the trigger. Tell those traders on Wall Street, keep it clean. Don't leave a trail for the North faction to follow. I shut the laptop. And just like that, I'm back to being the loser boyfriend who can't even make rent. 3 in the morning. Even the stray dogs are asleep. But Serena's eyes snap open. She makes sure I'm out cold, then silently slides out of bed. She locks the bathroom door behind her and pulls out an encrypted phone from a hidden compartment only she knows about. Young lady, it's Harlan. He has started moving domestic assets. He thinks you've hit rock bottom. Right now, he's completely off guard. Should we close the net? Not yet. Serena's voice is terrifyingly calm. Harlan won't crack until he's staring at his own grave. Let him cook the books a little more. Let the evidence pile up. I don't just want him off the throne. I want him to cough up every last cent, every South faction asset he swallowed, with interest. Turns out my girlfriend is the rightful princess of the South faction empire, the one rumored in business circles to be absolutely ruthless. Serena, the liquidation queen who chews companies up and spits them out whole. A year ago, to escape Harlan's scheming, she staged a runaway act, a deliberate fall from grace, She buried herself in this urban village. She picked me, the loser boyfriend, because I looked dumb enough and useless enough. A guy who gets chewed out by his manager every day and doesn't even talk back. A harmless pushover like me was the perfect cover. I'd never uncover her secret. Serena quietly makes up her mind. Since I braved the rain today to buy her that hair clip. Once she storms back and reclaims the South faction, she'll set me up with a luxury penthouse in the city center, enough to keep me comfortable for the rest of my life. Then we'd be even. She tucks the phone back into its hiding spot. Serena tiptoes through the door and feels her way back to bed by moonlight. She lies down next to me like always. But in this tiny room, neither of us is sleeping. We're both lost in our own schemes, each convinced we've fooled the other. Next morning, at the crack of dawn, the landlord starts pounding on our door. He's cursing up a storm. "Open up, don't play dead with me. Rent's due, you hear me?" I catch something. Just before Serena slips into her helpless girl act, a flash of ice-cold murderous intent flickers behind her eyes. That's the South faction's heiress, reacting on pure instinct after being woken up. "Sterling, you've been dodging me for 3 days. If you can't cough up the rent today, you two are sleeping on the street tonight." If this were the old me, that finger jabbing at my face would have been fed to the pigs by now. The offshore funds under my control move tens of billions every single day, even the cheapest sports car to my name. Just the dust sitting on it could buy out his entire crumbling building. But right now I'm Sterling, just a bottom-rung salesman. So I slap on a semi. "Gus, come on Gus, take it easy man," my manager said. "The attendance bonus drops the day after tomorrow at the latest. Just give us 2 more days, I swear I'll pay every cent." Gus doesn't buy it for a second. 2 more days, my ass. You think I'm running a charity here? If you can't pay up today, I'm tossing your crap out right now. Serena comes stumbling over, clutching a wrinkled cloth bag. "Please, Gus, don't," I shout and throw an arm out, pulling her behind me, putting myself between her and the landlord. "Gus will pay," Serena pleads, her voice trembling. "This is what I've been saving up. All my spare change." Coins spill across the table, clattering everywhere. Nothing but crumpled bills and loose change. Gus glances down, wrinkles his nose in disgust. "This? Even with the deposit, it barely covers 1 month. If this happens again next month, even God himself won't save you. You're out." After Gus leaves, Serena crouches on the floor, picking up the coins one by one. Watching her, something in my chest clenches hard. Without a word, I pull her into my arms. My throat tightens. Before I can stop it, tears well up. Such a sweet, innocent girl. She suffered so much just being with me. "I'm sorry, Serena. I'm useless. You shouldn't have to go through this because of me." She shakes her head. "Don't say that. Money comes and goes. Sterling, I'm not afraid of a little hardship. As long as you don't give up on me, things will get better, I know it." My face is pure tenderness, but inside I'm seething. "That fat slob Gus. Your building is getting shut down tomorrow for fire code violations. Full lockdown. Enjoy spending the rest of your life drowning in debt." Before I know it, night has fallen. The evening breeze carries a slight chill. Serena drapes an old jacket over my shoulders and heads off to do the laundry. I lean against the rusty railing, soaking in the quiet. That's when the micro-encrypted phone in my pocket buzzes. "Sterling, you've been playing dead out there for an entire year. Haven't you had enough of that slum?" I keep my voice low. "Uncle, the old man running the South faction is on his last legs. Their whole organization is tearing itself apart. A total mess. They've extended an olive branch. They want a marriage alliance. This weekend, the Victoria Harbor Club. You'll meet their princess, win her over, and you become the bridge between the North and the South. When that happens, I'll hand you half the real power in the North faction." My fingers clench white, nails digging into my palms. A marriage alliance, sending me to meet a woman who'll do anything to claw her way to the top. The South faction tigress who chews people up and spits them out. I shut it down, zero hesitation. Not happening. I don't care about the South faction's assets, and I care even less about that tigress. The corner of my mouth curls up. "I'm seeing someone." "Seeing someone? You mean that broke little thing you picked up in the slums?" "Sterling, I'm not asking. You think you're safe hiding out there? If you don't show up this weekend, that little girlfriend of yours will vanish off the face of the earth. And the last access point to your offshore funds, I'll cut it off myself. Choose wisely." I hang up and clench my fists. That old bastard just threatened Serena. "You want to play, huh? Then let's play for keeps." Once I leverage the South faction's muscle to flip the North faction's table over, you'll be the first one I make an example of. Meanwhile, in the laundry room, Serena picks up a call of her own. Her face betrays nothing, like she's wearing a mask no one can see through. "Young lady, you can't keep hiding. Harlan has already started planning his people everywhere. The patriarch is still in a coma. Harlan is about to call a shareholders meeting to strip you of your inheritance by force." Serena smiles coolly. "My shares are locked in an offshore trust. He can't touch them. He can't touch your shares, true. But word is out. He's bringing in outside money to force dilute your ownership stake. Young lady, right now we desperately need a massive amount of clean capital to hold our position. I found us a lifeline. The North faction's washed-up trust fund heir, Sterling. He's sitting on the North faction's most secret offshore capital pool. The North faction wants to swallow us whole. They've proposed an alliance. If we can use his money to hold off Harlan until the patriarch wakes up, we can kick Sterling to the curb, easy. But if you don't go, the South faction will truly fall into Harlan's hands." Serena grits her teeth. The South faction is her parents' legacy. She refuses to watch Harlan steal it, even if it means using that good-for-nothing from the North. She'll do whatever it takes. "You want me to go meet Some trust fund brat with a garbage reputation? She raises an eyebrow. Wells, you really think I'd take a losing deal? Young lady, it's not like you'd actually have to do anything. It's just leverage. This weekend, the Victoria Harbor Club, private room. You need to meet him just once. Fine. Serena's voice drops to ice. Send me everything you've got on that loser. I'll go size him up this weekend. With that, she picks up the basin and walks out. I'm heading up to the second floor when I run right into Serena. The instant our eyes meet, we both rein in every trace of our edge and killer instinct and snap right back into our meek, beaten-down worker act. Done already? Was the water freezing? Why didn't you use more hot water? It's fine, I'm used to it. Oh, and about this weekend, I might not be around. I picked up a weekend gig handing out flyers at the mall. 100 yuan a day, she chirps excitedly. Lunch included. I figure if I save up a bit more, next month's rent is covered. Watching her try so hard to be responsible, the guilt washes over me all over again. I gently take her hand. My manager says there's a big client coming in this weekend. Everyone has to work overtime. If I do well, the attendance bonus doubles. I silently swear to myself, once this damn matchmaking is over, once I've secured the South Faction's funding line, I will never let her hand out another flyer again. Serena is making her own silent promise. Once she's done using that North Faction brat this weekend, once she sees back control of the South Faction, she'll get me a decent job where I won't have to grovel before some manager, or walk home in the rain. The weekend arrives in a blink. Here, take this mung bean soup with you. Handing out flyers at the mall usually means standing outside. It's almost 100 degrees out today. Make sure you don't get heat stroke, she frets over me. And if your manager yells at you, just curse him out in your head. Don't talk back. For the bonus, we suck it up. I watch her, sweating through the heat herself, smiling as she shoves the thermos into my hands. Something twists hard inside my chest. This woman is about to spend all day standing in a mall, handing out flyers under the sun, yet all she can think about is feeling sorry for me and my overtime. I nod and smile. I know. Same goes for you. I gently tuck a loose strand of hair behind her ear. If you run into anyone giving you a hard time, just walk away. And if that free lunchbox tastes like garbage, buy yourself something nice. Don't be afraid to spend a little. After I'm done with overtime today, I'll bring you back a roast chicken. She smiles softly, hums a quiet okay, and turns to leave. I watch her walk away and think, it's time to hit pause on this cat and mouse game. I make my way into the underground garage of a high-end mall. A row of bodyguards in tailored suits stands waiting in formation. The moment I appear, they bow and pull the car door open. One of them presents a freshly pressed custom suit with both hands. Your suit, boss. The second I put it on, my entire presence shifts. The real me is finally back. Talk. I lean back in my seat and cross my legs. What do we have on the South Faction's princess? Nate answers. Boss, the South Faction's princess keeps an extremely low profile. She's the real mastermind, pulling strings behind the scenes. She almost never shows up at public events. The outside world can't even find a single clear photo of her. Rumor has it, she was sent overseas at 12 to train under foreign conglomerates. Absolutely ice cold in the way she operates. 3 years ago, she was placed in the South Faction in just 6 months. She pressured several of her own uncles who were gunning for power into surrendering their shares willingly. Everyone else was scared stiff. One of them couldn't handle the pressure, threw himself into Victoria Harbor. I raise an eyebrow. Still the same beast chews people up and spits them out. The old man running the South Faction is about to kick the bucket. Harlan is scrambling to seize control. So the princess is getting desperate. She wants to borrow the offshore capital in my hands to hold things together. So what's the play today, boss? If she wants my money, then I want her entire logistics network. I lean forward, send the word. Cut off every back channel we have with Harlan. Today's negotiation. I'm going to show this little princess what it means to dance with the devil. Neon lights blur past the car window. The hunt has begun. Meanwhile, Serena pushes open the door to a very important person's suite. Crystal chandeliers, leather sofas, a different universe from that rundown rental in the urban village. She's changed into a gown and every movement radiates old money elegance. Wells, her butler, bows in greeting. Young lady, she offers a slight smile, and the commanding aura of the South Faction's princess washes over the room. Have you dug up everything on that loser from the North? Young lady, the North Faction keeps things locked down tight. Their eldest heir, Sterling, was exiled overseas years ago due to internal power struggles. Word is he never amounted to anything, just a brat blowing money on sports cars and designer watches. A year ago, he supposedly went bankrupt from a bad investment and went into hiding, nearly threw himself into the ocean. Serena sits poised before the vanity mirror as a stylist does her makeup. A gemstone necklace worth a small fortune is clasped around her neck. Catching her own reflection, a mocking smile curls across her lips. A washed-up trust fund brat? Those old foxes in the North must think I'm a junk collector. Wells quickly cuts in. Young lady, please. Sterling's reputation is in the gutter, yes. But our insider on Wall Street reported, the North Faction has a hidden offshore pool worth hundreds of billions, and the actual control may very well sit with this loser. The North Faction is desperate to swallow us. That's why they dangled this marriage alliance as bait. If you can get your hooks into him today, and force him to hand over access to the funding chain, Harlan's pressure campaign falls apart on its own. Let's see then. Serena rises to her feet. How much spine can a disgraced exile really have? Let's go. Inside the Victoria Harbor Club, I stride down the corridor toward the private room. My mind hasn't stopped racing, running calculations at full speed. mapping out exactly how, with the sharpest tactics, within the first 60 seconds, I'll shatter the defenses of this so-called princess. On the other end, Serena's eyes gleam with total confidence. She's already rehearsed 100 ways to bring that North faction loser to his knees. Open it, I say, voice low. The doors glide open. A stunningly beautiful figure comes into view, cold and commanding. The South faction princess lifts her gaze, eyes full of natural arrogance, as if nothing in this world is worth her attention. But the moment I see her, my eyes narrow. That face, even under layers of makeup, I'd spot it in any crowd. Just 4 hours ago, the owner of that face was wearing a white tee, standing at a dinky little stove, eyes full of worry, telling me not to get heat stroke. And now she is the South faction's liquidation queen, who chews people up and spits them out. The moment Serena sees who walked in, she freezes solid. This is the guy who gets ripped apart by his manager every single day, and never says a word back. The guy who agonized over a 99 yuan suit, who walked through a downpour to buy her a cheap plastic hair clip, her loser boyfriend from rock bottom. Just then, the subordinate steps forward and bows respectfully. Sir, this is the South faction's young lady, and this is the North faction's young master. My gaze turns to ice. My voice allows no argument. Out. The entire room drops into dead silence. Get out, Serena speaks. Are you deaf? Everyone, out. Now. My voice cuts like a blade. Shut the door. Serena's voice stays level. Wells, post everyone outside, without my permission. Anyone who comes near this door goes straight to the bottom of Victoria Harbor. Nobody dares linger. They file out fast. I let out a cold laugh. Handing out flyers, lunch included, 100 yuan a day. The South faction's princess, handing out flyers? Now that's rich. Right back at you. Sterling, Serena fires back with a cold smirk. Working overtime for an attendance bonus? Working food delivery in the pouring rain? The man at the helm of the North faction's secret capital. Your acting is so good, even an Oscar wouldn't do you justice. I grab her wrist. Where's that washed-out cotton dress of yours? And that plastic hair clip from this morning? The South faction's princess playing dirt poor, crammed into a 300-square-foot dump with me in the slums. Was it fun? She's no longer the fragile girl. She's a predator. You don't get to question me. Where's that pilling polyester suit of yours? Those dress shoes with the soles worn flat? Sterling, every night while I was sleeping, you were out on the balcony, shorting stocks on your laptop. Did you really think I was just some fool you could play like a puppet? So the woman who argues with the street vendor every morning over a few cents worth of scallions is the same one who manipulated offshore accounts and overnight delisted 3 of Harlan's companies? That's you too, Serena. I have to hand it to you. You're the finest double agent I've ever seen. Serena takes a deep breath. So you knew all of it. Everything in that apartment was just a smokescreen to protect my identity, compared to an old fox like you, playing the washed-up loser to dodge a family power struggle, while secretly pulling the strings behind 100 billion yuan fortune. My little act was nothing, but you deliberately went into hiding in the slums, even went so far as to shack up with me, just so you could use my clean background, with 0 connections as your cover, right? When we were holding each other and sobbing on the rooftop, were you already calculating how much severance to give me once you'd taken over the North faction? 1 luxury penthouse in the city center, that's what I was planning to give you as compensation. 2 luxury penthouses in the city center, behind the most convincing disguise of poverty. What we gave each other turned out to be the most sincere thing either of us could offer. What a coincidence. I was planning the exact same thing. Once I reclaimed the South faction, I'd set you up with a penthouse downtown, so you'd never have to chase another attendance bonuses or kiss your manager's boots again. I look at her. The smile fades from my face, inch by inch. In the next second, I rein in every trace of warmth. Enough reminiscing, Serena. Since all the cards are on the table now, let's talk like adults. The old guard at the South faction pressured me into marrying some North faction loser to secure funding against Harlan, and the old guard at the North faction pressured you into marrying a South faction tigress so they could use the marriage alliance to drag you back into their power struggle and strip you of real power. Sterling, neither of us wants this marriage, but neither of us can afford to flip the table. Exactly. Harlan is forced diluting your ownership stake as we speak. You need my money to survive this, and I need the South faction's logistics network across Asia Pacific to take down the old dogs in the North. Instead of being pawns in their game, why don't we fight back together? Serena smiles. Better yet, let's merge both factions. We sign an agreement. On the surface, we're a match made in heaven, the perfect couple, devoted to our families. In reality, we pool every resource. The North goes to you, the South stays with me. As Serena keeps thinking, the corners of her lips curl up without her noticing. I don't stop. I add one more thing, one more clause. From now on, we stand as equals. Starting today, whenever either of us faces trouble or pressure, the other one steps in, no questions asked. Serena stands and extends her hand. Deal. Pleasure doing business. I clasp her hand in mine. Pleasure's all mine, Serena. But before that, there's one thing I need to confirm. She raises an eyebrow. Go on. I step forward without warning, closing the distance. I tilt my head, my lips almost brushing her ear. Who's doing the dishes when we get back tonight? Serena shoves my face away. You are. The very important person. Doors swing open. I take Serena's hand like it's the most natural thing in the world, fingers intertwined. Everyone on both sides freezes. We're both gagging on the inside, but the expressions on our faces? Flawless. Boss, what just? Nate's jaw nearly hits the floor. Tell my third Uncle Rowan that the South factions. Young lady has won me over. This marriage, I accept. Tell him to wire the half of the real power he promised me, plus the bridge funding, into my account before sunrise. Wells's mouth falls open wide enough to catch a fly. Sir, are you too serious? Serena wraps her arms around my waist. Wells, Sterling is quite witty and charming. He's completely won my heart. Harlan's been pushing me to marry, hasn't he? Tell him right now. I accept the marriage alliance. On one condition. He immediately stops, diluting the South faction's core ownership stake. Consider it my dowry. I wrap my arm around Serena's waist as we step into the elevator. She leans against my shoulder on cue. The second the doors close, we fling each other's hands away like we've been shocked. Not bad acting out there. Sterling, that lovesick puppy look came so naturally. Too kind, young lady. That helpless little dove act of yours almost had me believing you'd actually fallen for me. You bruised the hell out of my waist pinching it, by the way. If I didn't squeeze hard enough, I was afraid I'd throw up right there. We fooled both families for now. So, where to next? She looks at me. There's something in her eyes she doesn't even notice herself. Reluctance to let go. Back to our warm, cozy little home, of course. All the cards are showing. Do we really need to go back to that dump? I've got over a dozen private villas on the hillside. Your villas. Are you sure Harlan hasn't wired every room? They agreed to the marriage alliance. That doesn't mean they trust us. If we don't go back to the village tonight and check into some luxury mansion instead, they'll figure out in a heartbeat that we were faking it the whole time. Well, the negotiation's finally over, but the show must go on. I put on my best innocent look. Serena, I'm home. I got the attendance bonus today. Brought you a treat. Serena switches right back to her sweet smile. Oh, sweetheart, you work so hard. Come on, you're wasting money again. Let's go home. We walk into the apartment in perfect sync. The second the door shuts, I drop the act completely. I rip off my coat and can't hold it in anymore. I'm dying of heat. This garbage outfit isn't fit for human beings. You think I'm having a great time? This cheap shampoo has basically clogged every pore on my scalp. It feels like ants are eating my head alive. I can't help but laugh. Just an hour ago at the Victoria Harbor Club, the ruthless and decisive liquidation queen is now losing her mind over a $1.50 bottle of bargain shampoo. Watching her unravel like this, I can't keep the smirk off my face. You'll get used to it. Partner, this is the empire we built together, remember? Since we're done pretending, let's lay down some new ground rules. Starting today, that bed is mine. On what grounds? I object immediately. For the past 6 months, to take care of you, my delicate little princess. I've been sleeping on a third of the bed every single night. I couldn't even roll over without tiptoeing around you. Now that the cards are on the table, you, the princess of the South faction, have the nerve to make me, the North faction's young master, sleep on the floor? Serena looks at me with a sly grin. Because I'm your creditor. Don't forget, Sterling, you're the one who needs my logistics network. As the one at a disadvantage, you get the floor. Perfectly fair. At a disadvantage? I scoff. Young lady, Harlan is calling a shareholders meeting tomorrow to dilute your ownership stake. Without the $3 billion in bridge funding sitting in my account, you'll be out on the street by morning. So who really needs who here? Fine, since neither of us is backing down. Serena locks eyes with me, not giving an inch. Then let's do this the business way. We make a wager. Now you're speaking my language. The blood in my veins is on fire. This is who she really is. A top-tier master strategist who can shake the entire market to its core. What are the terms? Tomorrow morning, 9 sharp, when the market opens, we each put in $10 million as starting capital. 1 hour. Short the retail investor market. Whoever gets the higher return wins. And gets the bed. Whoever loses not only sleeps on the floor, but takes over all the cleaning and dishes from now on. Deal. The next second, we're both at our keyboards, fingers flying. Serena strikes first. That Nordic healthcare stock is way over-leveraged. Harlan's people are dumping money in to prop it up. I'm setting a trap, locking their capital inside with no way out. I answer without looking up. The returns are too slow. I already cut off their Middle East energy channel. Rowan's offshore assets are trying to flow back in. I just set up a dummy account and drained $50 million from them. Both sums are ours now. This is an unprecedented, utterly surreal experience. Eating the cheapest food imaginable in this cramped little apartment, running plays worth hundreds of millions together. I close my laptop with a grin. A 312% return. Looks like I win, princess. Serena grits her teeth. Fine, you got me this time. Sterling, you're a reckless maniac. I stretch and laugh. I'll take that as a compliment. A bet's a bet, princess. The floor is all yours tonight. And don't forget yesterday's dishes. Serena shoots me a death glare, but reluctantly parks herself at the sink, scrubbing away. I light up a cigarette nice and slow. Can't keep the smirk off my face. By day, we're evenly matched allies. By night, we're plotting against each other, over a beat-up bed. Somehow it's more fun than I ever imagined. Serena drags the mop back and forth until she's gasping for air. She jams the mop into the bucket and glares at me, full of resentment. Sterling, don't push it. I've mopped this spot 3 times already. A bet's a bet. Partner. Oh, there's a cobweb over there. How about the princess of the South faction handles that while she's at it? After all, this is our shared home. Hygiene matters. Serena lets out an irritated huff. but grabs the mop and walks over anyway. I quietly watch her as she carefully mops the floor. She turns around abruptly. Harlan is calling Anne. Emergency shareholders meeting tomorrow at 10. His only goal is to bring in outside capital and dilute my 35% controlling stake. Where's the outside capital coming from? A shell company registered in the Cayman Islands. Behind it are several shady investment groups from Southeast Asia. He thinks I don't know, but the truth is, he's already drained the South faction's cash reserves. Now he desperately needs this outside capital to plug the hole. The moment that resolution passes, the South faction will belong to someone else. So when he agreed to let you work with me, it was never about borrowing the North faction's muscle. I break it down. He's trying to keep you calm, make you think you've got backup, so you let your guard down. By tomorrow, once it's done, it's done. Your stake gets diluted below 10%, and even God himself couldn't turn it around for you. Serena nods. Exactly. That old fox played his cards perfectly. Too bad he miscalculated one thing. He got it wrong. You look like a harmless little bunny, but you're really a wolf. I scoff. And he also got it wrong. A North faction loser like me is actually a capital predator. The laptop suddenly flashes a warning. Account frozen. Done. Harlan's pass-through account. At that Cayman Island shell company. I've already used my Wall Street back channels to freeze the account using a few regulatory loopholes. I smirk. For at least the next 48 hours. He won't be able to pull out a single cent. Serena suddenly leans in close enough that I can feel her breath. Sterling, what kind of monster are you? My heart skips a beat. Good lord, in a space this small. Don't smile at me when you're this close. Fine. I'm the kind of monster who'll flip the table for you. I look at the excitement she can barely contain. Tomorrow, give them the performance of a lifetime. Show them despair. I'll show Harlan what it really feels like to fall from heaven to hell. Deal, partner. She smiles. Tomorrow, follow my lead. Now lights out. The next morning, the South faction boardroom. Serena sits at the far end of the conference table, head bowed, fingers picking at the corner of a document. She looks completely alone. I have to admit, if this had been before last night, I absolutely would have fallen for this pitiful, barely holding it together act of hers. Harlan opens his mouth, casual as ever. Serena, this emergency meeting today is about solving the South faction's current funding crisis. You're young. You don't realize how complicated this is. Bringing in $5 billion from Apex Capital is the only way to save this company. Sure, it'll dilute that little stake of yours, but we're all doing this for the company, right? Serena shoots to her feet. This is my father's legacy. You bring in outside money, dilute my controlling stake. That's handing the South faction over on a silver platter. I will never agree to this. The words barely leave her mouth before two suited thugs close in around her. She's forced back into her seat, tears streaming down her face. It's not up to you. More than 2/3 of the board members here have already approved this resolution. Serena, did you really think latching onto that loser from the North, Sterling, would change anything? He's nothing but a stray mutt even his own family threw out. This share transfer agreement, you're signing it whether you like it or not. Serena clenches her fists, her voice shaking. Harlan, you will regret this. Regret isn't in my vocabulary. Sign it. The very moment Serena picks up the pen, the boardroom doors fly open with a single kick. I walk in, flanked by bodyguards. Well, quite the party the South faction's board is throwing. My fiancé. Since when? Does a bunch of old fossils get to push her around? Harlan is shaking so hard his hands tremble. I walk straight up to him and look down. Vice chairman, right? That $5 billion from Apex Capital. You kept promising half an hour ago. Every cent of it got frozen by regulators. For dirty dealings. Right now, you're an empty shell who can't produce a single dime. Harlan's face goes white. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The money was already in place yesterday. You brainless loser. What do you know? You're bluffing. I let out a laugh, but there's not an ounce of warmth in it. What do I know? I know how to choke your funding chain in a single night. I know how to make every one of your shadow allies pull their money in under 10 minutes. And I damn sure know anyone who touches what's mine won't have a moment's peace. Harlan finally breaks. Sterling, you wouldn't dare. Serena slowly rises. At some point, her tears have dried completely. The show's over, Harlan. Since your outside money can't get in, then per Article 4 of the South Faction Charter, for malicious manipulation of the board and attempted seizure of key corporate assets, Serena slams a thick stack of documents on the table. Her voice is as cold as ice. As the South Faction's largest shareholder, I am officially filing to liquidate you instead. Harlan, she says it word by word. You're out. You wouldn't dare touch me. I'm the vice chairman of the South Faction. I'm your own uncle. Serena, you're colluding with outsiders to steal family assets. You're a monster. I cut through his screaming without a flicker of expression. Shut him up. In 10 minutes. I want to see a seizure report for every shadow operation under his name. Harlan is dragged out of the boardroom by my bodyguards. Serena settles back in her chair and sweeps her gaze across the room. Anyone else have a problem with me? Dead silence. This showdown over the very survival of the South Faction, in the face of absolute capital and ruthless execution, ends in our total victory. Serena and I walk into the South Faction headquarters parking garage. For once, Serena lets a genuine smile slip through. Nice work, partner. The way you slammed those papers in Harlan's face, that had some real North Faction air swagger. I grin. Couldn't have done it without your performance, princess. That pitiful, helpless look. The tears on the verge of spilling over. An Oscar wouldn't do you justice. I almost bought it myself. Before I can finish, tires screech through the underground garage. A squad of heavies leap out of the vehicles. I shove Serena behind me in one motion. My mind races. Ambush. Harlan's underground enforcers, the ones he kept in the shadows. A voice crackles through my earpiece. Boss, the security team is pinned down on the ground. Another crew has them trapped. They are fighting their way out now. Go. They won't live to see sunrise. Dark figures close in around us. I roll up my sleeves and charge. Serena grabs my arm. Sterling, are you insane? There's over a dozen of them. After all those bowls of plain noodles you fed me in the village, consider this my bodyguard fee. Stay here, don't move. And remember, if I don't make it, scatter every last one of those North Faction bastards. Ashes to the wind. The first thug swings a branch at me. I grab his wrist, pull him forward, and slam him headfirst into the ground. His forehead cracks against the concrete. One bounce, then nothing. A second one lunges at me from behind. I drop him with one punch and raise the branch to finish it, and don't notice a shadow lunging at me from the back. Serena's eyes go wide. Behind you! She screams. She launches a kick. Her stiletto heel drives straight into the guy's face. I seize the opening and smash an elbow into him. Serena rushes over barefoot, panicked. She grabs a thick branch and brings it down on a thug. What are you staring at? I don't need you carrying my life on your shoulders alone. After the fight, I grab Serena's hand and we bolt through the alleyways. We duck into an abandoned boiler room. Serena sees the wound on my arm and frowns. Sterling, you're hurt. Don't touch it, just a scratch. I'll live. Us North Faction guys are built tough. Tears shimmer in her eyes. Even now, you're still putting on the tough guy act? She tears the hem of her own dress. Are you crazy? That dress alone could buy half the apartment building back in the slums. Shut up. If my partner dies, who's going to pay me my 50% cut? Serena bandages me up. Then her hand freezes when it touches my back. Scars crisscross from my shoulders all the way down to my waist. She leans close to the old wounds. These scars! The North Faction did this to you? A year ago, they wanted the passcode to my offshore accounts. They tied me to the bottom of a boat and left me in the ocean for 3 days and 3 nights. Beat me with barbed fishing nets. I smile calmly. That's why I said, us North Faction guys are built tough. Sterling Harlan sabotaged my mother's car to force her to hand over her shares. When I was 12, I watched my mother's car explode right in front of me. We're both monsters. Sterling, monsters our families created. She looks at me. But at least today, we're monsters who have each other. The air goes still. I pull her into my arms. No more boardroom mind games. No more scheming in that cramped apartment. Just two scarred souls, colliding in the rawest, most passionate way. The door bursts open. My team has finally arrived. My voice turns to ice again. Lock down the entire port. Tell Harlan. He just lost his last chance to spend the rest of his life in a prison cell. Back at the apartment, I finally collapse. I'm curled up on the floor, shaking with pain. The wound on my shoulder won't stop bleeding. Serena grabs hold of me, frantic. Sterling, stay with me. I'll get Wells to bring a private doctor right now. I stop her. Don't. Tonight's garage incident was too loud. If a private doctor shows up, our safe house is blown. Serena's eyes go red in an instant, her voice trembling. So what? You're just giving up on your arm? This is a through-and-through wound. It'll get infected. I gently wipe the tears off her face. Since when did the princess become such a crybaby? Without a word, she digs out the first aid kit from the apartment and picks up the scissors. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. Brace yourself. The instant the alcohol hits the wound, my whole body jerks. The tip of the scissors hovers hesitantly against my chest. What's the matter, princess? Back in the boiler room. You were pretty bold. Now you can't even look me in the eye. A faint blush crosses her face. Don't flatter yourself. It was dark in the boiler room. I was just helping you take the edge off. Burning off the adrenaline, that's all. Right when the tension between us hits its peak, my encrypted phone rings. Duty calls. My third uncle, Rowan, the man in charge of the North Faction. Serena straightens up. Take it. Speaker on. I instantly flip to my pathetic loser voice. Uncle Rowan, help! Someone's trying to kill me. Calm down, you useless thing. I've already heard about what happened at South Faction headquarters. Harlan ended up being liquidated instead. Cornered, he lashed out and sent his goons after you. But lucky for you, you survived. I steal a glance at Serena. She gives me a tiny nod. Keep going. But Uncle Rowan, that woman Serena, she's sharp. She won't let me near any regular projects, unless it's a guaranteed jackpot. She won't give me a slice of the pie. That's not your concern. Harlan's branch of the family has been secretly developing an overseas rare energy project called Deep Blue. Word is it's an island rich in rare metals, with deposits worth hundreds of billions. Your job now is to extract the key data from Serena, pump in the capital and take the controlling stake. If you fail, that offshore fund of yours, I freeze it all tomorrow. We hang up. Serena and I lock eyes. Project Deep Blue, the mess Harlan left behind, and Rowan thinks he's found a golden goose. Serena laughs coldly. Deep Blue is no billion-dollar mineral island. It's a financial black hole. The underlying geology is completely unstable. Harlan started embezzling South Faction funds just to plug this hole, and that's what broke the entire chain. I nod. Rowan wants to use me to dump the North Faction's money into Deep Blue. But what if he finds out it's a black hole? That's about to blow. Once the North Faction pours tens of billions in, this becomes the perfect reverse short trap, enough to break the North Faction's back. Serena grins. The second they're in, we immediately Dump every fringe asset tied to Deep Blue, detonate the geological instability scandal, and make those old men at the North faction watch their billions sink straight to the bottom of the ocean. She frowns. But this play is too risky. If the North faction catches on, they'll tear us to shreds. I wrap my arm around her waist. Scared? There's a top-tier charity gala tomorrow night. We need to show every mogul in the city that the North faction's loser heir has been completely tamed, since you're supposedly head over heels for me. Your performance tomorrow better be convincing. And since you're the pathetic loser under my thumb, you're sleeping on the floor tonight. The next evening, the charity gala. Serena flashes the cameras a poised smile. Sterling is mine now. Everything under his name is naturally mine as well. I play along instantly. Serena's absolutely right. What's mine is hers. The moment I spot Rowan, I rush over with a bow and a grin. Uncle Rowan, you're here too. The corner of his grim old face twitches into something resembling a smile. His hand clamps down hard on my shoulder. Good nephew, you really are making the North faction proud. I can feel the wound ripping open under his grip. Rowan throws another punch at me, but Serena steps in with a smile and blocks it. Mr. Rowan, Sterling hurt his shoulder last night, just because he was peeling crawfish for me. At your age, you really should watch your strength. If you break him, I'd be heartbroken. Rowan flashes a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Serena, what impressive tactics. Not only did you send my brother Harlan to prison, even this no-good nephew of mine is eating right out of your hand. Serena's smile grows sweeter. You flatter me. Sterling's just obedient. Isn't that right, sweetheart? Yes, yes, yes. I nuzzle my face into her palm. Whatever you say, babe. Serena, don't think you've won. You and I both know what kind of shape the South faction's cash flow is in. You really think Sterling's tiny bit of bridge financing can save your failed Deep Blue project? Serena thinks to herself. The old fox just bit the hook on his own. The corner of her mouth curls into a smile, sweet and completely fake. Project Deep Blue is the South faction's top secret. Once the first batch of minerals is extracted in a few days, the South faction's valuation will multiply tenfold. Don't you worry about us. She turns on her heel. Sterling, we're leaving. Let's go say hello to the people from Morgan Consortium. The second Serena is out of earshot, I switch to full panic mode. Uncle Rowan, save me. That psycho woman. She dumped every cent I have into Deep Blue. I got my hands on the real geological survey. It's no treasure trove. She's trying to swallow my money whole. From across the room, Serena barks out, Sterling, where the hell did you wander off to? I scramble back to Serena's side. Rowan clutches the flash drive, a cold, thin smile cracking across his face. I sidle up to Serena with a goofy grin. Coming. Yes, my queen. Haha. I steal a glance at Rowan and lightly brush Serena's knee under the table with the tip of my shoe. He has taken the bait. Serena pauses for a beat, then fires back with a kick, her stiletto landing precisely on my thigh. The pain warps my entire face. I nearly launch out of my chair. Serena leans in close. What's wrong, sweetheart? Is the steak too rare for you? Can't handle it? No. It's delicious. Everything you cut tastes amazing. My phone screen lights up. I open the message. He bit. 30 billion yuan in reserves. That's the North faction's entire war chest. That old fox Rowan. In the end, his own greed did him in. Serena raises her glass. Sweetheart, 30 billion. Your uncle really bet it all, didn't he? The moment that money hits the Deep Blue swamp, cut every single return channel. Relax, partner. Before the market closes tomorrow, I'll use this 30 billion to wipe out the entire North faction. After the gala, inside the Maybach, I'm dead on my feet. Tomorrow's the day we close the net. Any loose ends on your side? None whatsoever. But princess, that little kick you gave me under the table left a bruise the size of my fist on my thigh. How are we settling this debt? What? The North faction heir wants me to cover his medical bills? Medical bills won't be necessary. After we send Rowan to hell tomorrow, I expect the princess to honor clause 1 of our agreement. Absolute partner privileges. For example, tonight in the apartment. I'm getting the bed. Serena yanks my tie and bites my lip. In your dreams, Sterling. You're on the floor again tonight. Back at the apartment, I open the laptop. Did you plant the $3 billion bait? I smile with full confidence. Went into the public account half an hour ago. I also sent a fake distress recording. That old fox is probably staring at the balance right now. Sterling, when it comes to being devious, all the old men in the North faction combined don't hold a candle to your pinky toe. You actually came up with a victim act like that. Too kind, princess. When it comes to people who want me dead, I prefer to swallow them whole. Skin, bones and all. Not even crumbs left. Serena stares at the screen. It's in. $30 billion. Rowan didn't just use every drop of the North faction's liquid capital. He even mortgaged 3 of the North faction's domestic listed companies. He is betting the entire North faction's fortune on this. I smirk. Greed is the deadliest weakness in the capital markets. Time to start the hunt. Our fingers fly across the keyboards in unison. Cut off all channels for capital to flow back. Lock down the offshore accounts, the real geological survey data, and ironclad proof of Deep Blue's financial fraud, simultaneously sent to the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and the big 3 rating agencies. Game over. Rowan's call comes in immediately. I can't help it. I start laughing, and then I can't stop. I pick up. Sterling, what the hell is going on? Why do the rating agencies have the real report? My 30 billion. The North faction's 30 billion. What did you do? Good morning, Uncle Rowan. How's the stock market treating you today? On the other end, Rowan's voice is shaking. You Serena didn't control you? You leaked the classified report? Have you lost your mind? That was everything the North faction had. You're digging your own grave. My voice drops cold. The North faction. A year ago you tied me to the bottom of a boat. When you were torturing me for the passcode, did it ever cross your mind that I was one of your own? Not only did I know everything, I personally dug this deep blue grave just for you. Uncle Rowan, how does it feel to drown in the deep? 30 billion to take down the entire North faction board. I'd call that a bargain. Rowan goes absolutely hysterical on the other end. Sterling, I'll destroy you. Serena takes the phone from me. You're out of chances, Mr. Rowan. 10 minutes ago, I filed a formal report with the Commercial Crimes Bureau, under the South faction's name. Investigators should be arriving at your doorstep right about now. Rowan crumbles completely. Serena, you two are in on this together. 30 billion, partner. We just blew the whole thing wide open. I laugh. Scared? Scared? All I feel is, those 3 months of plain noodles in the urban village have finally paid off. Sterling, that luxury penthouse downtown you owe me. When are you cashing in? A penthouse? That's nothing. Tomorrow, the North and South factions will hold their first ever joint board meeting. Once I've fully absorbed what's left of the North faction, the entire North faction's empire can be the princess's bride price. The question is, do you dare accept it? Serena looks me dead in the eyes. Sterling, you'd better remember what you just said. She presses a finger to my chest. If you ever go back on it, I will personally liquidate you. You won't even have a bed in the urban village to sleep on. The next morning, I boil a pot of plain noodles. I fill 2 bowls and set them in front of Serena. Eat up. After this meal, our year-long slum act is officially a wrap. She looks around the room. Honestly, I am actually a little reluctant to leave it behind. Even this old bed that creaks every night. After all, in this place, I didn't just see the true faces of the wolves and predators in my own family. I also picked up a billion-dollar bodyguard for free, / dishwasher. I sit down. Correction, not a bodyguard. A partner with an absolute controlling stake. I add one more thing. Also, from now on, we're getting a dishwasher for that. These hands are made for signing billion-dollar deals. 10 in the morning. The joint board meeting begins on schedule. Quite a show you two have put on. Barrett strikes first. Word on the street is, you two are the ones behind the scenes, causing the family massive losses. Dalton chimes in. Don't you owe this board an explanation? And what kind of explanation would satisfy you? We're forming the Elder Council, the family's highest authority. Hand over your shares and management rights. The Elder Council will manage everything on your behalf, and the two of you can just sit back and enjoy being a pair of idle rich kids. I can't help but laugh. Barrett, I could hear that scheme of yours. All the way from my apartment in the urban village, my bodyguards suddenly burst in and surround them. Barrett points at me, furious. Sterling, how dare you disrespect your elders? If that fool Rowan hadn't gotten greedy on his own, you'd never have a seat at this table. Security, restrain this insolent brat. I slap an encrypted file onto the table. Then let me show you what attitude looks like. That 30 billion that vanished into deep blue, every cent of it was embezzled. Public funds you siphoned off. And 1 hour before the implosion, I had already transferred the North faction's core assets into a Bermuda offshore fund. Serena speaks up. Dalton, you might not be aware, the Bermuda fund that received those assets? I'm the legal representative, and in exchange, I've already transferred the South faction's controlling stake entirely into Sterling's name. From this very second, neither the South faction nor the North faction exists anymore. There is only one capital empire now, Silverfrost Capital, and all of you are fired. Take your worthless penny stocks and get out of this building. Serena looks at me and smiles. Not bad yourself, partner. Late night, the Silverfrost Capital Executive Suite. I slide a document across to Serena. What are you looking at? The world outside this window? Or are you waiting for me? A single word stands out on the document. Transfer. So, it's time I kept my promise, partner. Serena reads it and goes completely still. You're insane. If you sign this, you're giving up your entire half of the empire. To me, unconditionally. You won't have a single share left. I told you, if you dare accept it, I'd give you the entire North faction as a bride price. Serena, starting today, Silverfrost Capital is yours to command. You be the queen. I'll be the most loyal and only legally employed worker on your payroll. Serena's tears fall onto the paper, but her trembling hand still signs. She forces the words out after signing. Sterling, this was your choice. From now on, if you ever dare mistreat me, I'll kick you out with nothing but the clothes on your back. You won't even be able to afford a place under a bridge in the city. I laugh. I'd welcome it. My queen. Sunlight floods through the window. For the first time, this room actually feels bright. I open a small box. Inside, a diamond ring that catches the light and a diamond-studded hair clip. Serena's tears pour out. Both hands clamp over her mouth, her shoulders shaking uncontrollably. I slowly drop to one knee and look up at her. A year ago in this very room, I made you a promise. I said other girls get nice things, and so should you. Now, your loser boyfriend has finally made some money. We were both liars. But in this place, what I felt for you was all real. Serena, are you willing to end the double life for good and be my partner for life? We sit at the broken table one last time, each holding a bowl of instant noodles. I do. Sterling, tears slide down her cheeks. Even if you stayed, that guy forever, the broke nobody who could only afford a 15 yuan hair clip, I'd still say yes. She leans against me, voice hoarse, and whispers it again. I'd still say yes. Seriously though, she suddenly asks. After this meal, Who's cleaning this place? And who's tossing out tonight's noodle cups? I jump in first. Me, obviously. And not just tonight. Every dish for the rest of our lives. Every noodle cup. Every night on the floor. Princess, I've got it all covered. That day I'm in a crisp suit. She's in white. We walk up the creaking stairs one flight at a time. We push open the door. Everything is exactly the same. I drop to one knee. Inside the box sits a diamond ring, and right next to it, that 15 yuan plastic hair clip. The moment Serena sees the hair clip, the tears come all at once. You kept it. I stay on one knee, unwilling to let this moment end. This moment, I've waited 10 years for it.